Hi everyone, Happy New Year. I hope you are all doing well. And yep, it is the new year, and it's that time of the year when everybody is setting time aside to plan and set goals for the year. And the thing with setting goals is that we end up setting so many goals when the year starts that we don't even end up achieving. Goal setting is a great tool that can help us to move from point A to point B. But the only problem is that setting goals and achieving them is very difficult. It requires a lot of commitment, discipline, and a lot of sacrifices. And most people are not willing to make these sacrifices or be disciplined to stay the course. Especially when it comes to financial goals, we tend to set goals that we end up not even achieving because the thing with finances is that we let our emotions get the best of us. So we set these huge goals that we don't even get close to achieving. And so today I am going to be sharing with you guys on how I plan to have a successful financial year by setting realistic and achievable goals. So first, I like to start with a vision board. So what I do is I envision myself towards the end of the year because I like to begin with the end in mind. This is a technique, this is a habit that I learned from a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So you begin with the end in mind. What I did was I envisioned myself to at the end of this year as to where would I want to be financially. So for me, by the end of this year, I want to be a step closer to financial fitness. And once I do that, after envisioning myself where I want to be, I then go on to set realistic and achievable goals. For this year, I've only set 3 goals. And the reason I only set 3 goals is because science has proven that when we set so many goals, we end up not achieving them. And 3 is the perfect number of goals that you can plan and work on consistently and get much better results. I went with 3 goals that I would like to pursue this year. I do have other goals, but these 3 are the main ones that I'm going to pour my energy, my time, my everything on to try to achieve. So the 3 goals that I'm planning on achieving this year is building an emergency fund, investing consistently in the stock market, and have a proper business plan for my business. After I set my 3 goals, I then remind myself of my financial why. I did a video last year on my reason for pursuing financial independence, and the reason I have to remind myself of my financial why is because it's very hard to pursue financial independence. It's very hard to stick to your financial goals. So for me, by me knowing why I'm doing this, it helps me to stay motivated and stay on the course. So once I've reminded myself of my financial why, I then determine the actions that I'm going to take to achieve these goals. Once I've determined the actions, I'll go a step further into breaking each goal down into measurable actions, and I put a timeline to each and every goal. So for example, for me to build my emergency fund, I've set 10% from my income to go to my emergency fund every single month. And after I've done all my expenses, if I've got any change left, I will add it on top of that 10% towards my emergency fund. And what I'll do is every 3 months, I will just be tracking and checking how that is going. And then for my investment, what I've done is I've set an automatic debit order from my account to my easy equity account of I went with 200 rands because at least I'm not giving myself a higher amount that I'm going to end up not being able to afford. So I've just set it for 200 rand, and automatically 200 rands will be going to my easy equity account, which I can use to buy more stock. And lastly, for my business, like I said, I'm working on my business plan. So what I'm doing right now is just researching what a business plan should look like and working on each component of the business plan. So yeah, so those are the actions that I will be taking to make sure that I'm going to achieve my goals. And then once I've got my goals, I know why I have to achieve these goals, and I've set measurables and the timeline to achieve these goals. I then remind myself to be very flexible because life does happen and sometimes things don't go according to our ways. I remind myself to be very flexible and also to consider potential challenges or obstacles that can come, so that when they do come, I must have enough discipline to make sure that even if one month I cannot even if for this month I cannot afford to invest, at least next month I can come back on track. Finally, I have an accountability partner. Very important, because whenever you don't have an accountability partner, it's very easy for you to just be like, okay, I didn't do it this month, I'll do it next month. So for me, my accountability partner happens to be my husband, so we are accountable to each other's actions. And so what we will be doing is every month we just will be sitting down, going through our budget and seeing if we did make our investments, if we did put money towards our emergency fund, and if we did not, why, and how can we prevent that from happening in the coming month. So that's my way of setting my goals for this year, and I hope my technique helps you also to figure out your own way of setting your goals. And just remember, very important, just remember to be realistic, because life does happen, and you can't be setting these goals that are super hard to achieve. So you need to start small, set achievable goals, and just make sure that you stay consistent and you stay the course. That way you will be able to achieve your goals. So I am very excited about this year, and I'm really planning to make it a success. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Bye.